Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, now here I am to start off these made-for-TV, direct-to-video Christmas movie reviews. And here I am to start off with a review for the Disney Channel movie, The Ultimate Christmas Present. So, yeah, as a kid, I didn't really watch this movie all that much. I mean, I did watch it like a couple of times, like as a kid. I really don't remember like watching it like all that much. But yeah, I remember like watching it like a couple of times at least when I was a kid. And really, I really was not ever really that big on this film. I mean, I really honestly did find it just like kind of be sending like really just a wrong message, really. I mean, yeah, because I don't know how many of you have actually seen this movie. I mean, I really don't think that this is really like one of the more popular Disney Channel original movies. Like, I remember, like, of course, a couple of years ago for Disney December, like a nostalgia critic or Doug Walker, like, dedicated it to Disney Channel original movie reviews. And yeah, he didn't include this one in those reviews, and he still hasn't reviewed it yet. So yeah, it probably really isn't like really like that popular amongst like fans of Disney Channel original movies or even like people in general. Yeah. So yeah, it really probably really was not really like that. Really, people really didn't think that fondly of it since it really is not really one of the more popular Disney Channel movies. Yeah, and really, I'm not really a big fan of it either. I mean, I just feel like I've kind of like seen like stories like this done. And well, not the story, but the concept that this movie has, a lot of times, like, I feel like I've really just kind of seen a lot of movies with this kind of premise where, like, Santa is, like, really, like, down on Earth, and he ends up, like, encountering, like, a kid, or kids and stuff, and then, yeah, he just ends up, like, working together with the kid to just, like, do, like, a certain task, or, like, take the kid home, or, yeah, do something like this. I remember I, like, kind of, like, as a kid, I did kind of, like, see sort other like TV Christmas movies that with this like kind of concept. So yeah, and this film, oh gosh, I really just feel like just the main character in this film is just like such a terrible character. I mean, she's just like so unlikable, a really bad kid, and just I don't like the main character in this film at all. And really just even just like quite a bit of the characters in this film, I really I really don't like, and really they just like really get on my nerves because I mean, yeah, everybody, a lot of the characters in this film really just seem like very careless and they're annoying and just, really. I think I can after like rewatching this film, I think I can kind of like see why I really didn't tune into it very much, and I really didn't watch it a whole lot as a kid back when like Disney Channel movies like were always like airing on the Disney Channel regularly. Yeah. So, yeah. So the premise of this film, what it is that there's this teenage girl and like her best friend, and yeah, they end up like finding a device that is actually like made by Santa, and it's pretty much and it's like used to like control the weather and stuff. Like it can cause like snow and sun and rain and all that stuff. And yeah, she uses it to like make it snow because yeah, they're in like Los Angeles, and yeah, she causes it to snow. Oh, when like so like she can like get out of school for an extra day before Christmas vacation, so yeah, she can like get out of like turning in a school assignment, and then yeah, and it eventually like ends up like just getting so bad had that like it can really like ruin their Christmas because in this film like her father like is off on a business trip for a day, but then like the snow ends up like going like even spreading so far to where he is, and so then like his flight ends up being delayed. But then yeah, it ends up like getting so bad that he doesn't think that he can really come home for Christmas because yeah, when this movie like starts off, it's 3 days before Christmas, and then and yeah, it just like gets so bad. Like on Christmas Eve, like it really seems like he really won't be able to come home for Christmas. And so then yeah, the girl and her best friend, she just they're really trying to like get the machine to stop, but they can't control it. And then eventually, then Santa and a couple of his elves come across the girls, and then yeah, they work together to just like retrieve the device and really like get it working properly and stop this snowstorm once and for all. Yeah, and that's really like the main what the story for this film is. Yeah, so yeah, in this film, like it has it features Hallie Hirsch as the main character, like Allie Thompson, and her best friend, Sam Kwan, who's played by Brenda Song, who does of course like did have a career on the Disney Channel. Of course, like she was um, in the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Yeah, she did play like London Tipton on the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Yeah, yeah, and there's like her brother Joey, who's played by Spencer Breslin, and yeah, it kind of seemed like during this time Spencer Breslin really did like have a contract or something with Disney because yeah, he was in like quite a lot of Disney projects at this time. Like he was like in The Kid, he was of course like in the Santa Claus 2 and 3, and yeah, he like did like voice some anime characters. Like he was the main voice for he voiced like a Captain Crandall on the show Timo Supremo, and I remember like in the Peter Pan sequel Return to Neverland he voiced Cubby, and yeah, he was also in like a couple of Disney Channel movies like this one and the movie You Wish. So yeah, he did like kind of have like quite a I think like he sort of like did have a contract or something with Disney at the time, and that's why like he was in like a lot of like Disney projects like during this period. Yeah, and quite frankly, just as the brother in this film, he is just absolutely so annoying. Like seriously, just he just is always like talking stuff, like he's whining and complaining, like whining to his sister, and like he's always like complaining to his mom. Just shut up, will you? So yeah, Spencer Breslin's just like pretty annoying in this film. Yeah, yeah, and you also have like people like John B. Lowe as Santa Claus and his elves, who were played by John Sally and Bill Fagerbakke. So yeah, so it does have like a decent cast to it. But yeah, and I guess like Santa and his elves overall, they're not really that bad. I mean, the elves are like kind of silly. I mean, they're kind of like doofuses, like really just like being like very goofy and stuff, and just like being like very incompetent and all that. Yeah, and yeah, there's also like this joke going along throughout this film where like the like people are always saying like the elves are supposed to be like a lot shorter, and like the two elves really don't like being elves being referred to like that. And so yeah, so I guess like the stuff with like Santa and the elves in this film is just fine. Like they're really not like that annoying. Like I think they're like just fine. I mean, do think that John B. Lowe as Santa, I think that he does just fine. I mean, it is kind of a little odd, like his appearance for Santa, because when you think of Santa Claus, like of course like you think of him with like his red suit and his very long beard and all that. And in this film, like he just like comes across as kind of like just a guy in like his 60s or 70s or something, like just kind of like a really old, just like a regular old guy, because yeah, he just like kind of has like a normal sized white beard and white hair and stuff. And of course like we never actually do see him in a red suit, and he's just like seems to be just living down on Earth. Like he does explain like at one point in the film how he just like comes down to like a cottage in the woods, or like a shack in the woods. It's like during that time of the year, just because like it can get kind of hectic at the North Pole, especially like with the elves and stuff. And it does show like in this film how while he's like down in his shack, that Mrs. Claus is like up at the North Pole running it. And yeah, Mrs. Claus in this film seems like kind of like unusual too, because yeah, she's not like the traditional Mrs. Claus that people would really think of. She just like comes across as just kind of like the same way as Santa does, just kind of like an ordinary older woman and stuff. Like she's not like dressed in like the traditional like Mrs. Claus attire. So yeah, so kind of like a really different take for like Santa and like North Pole and stuff than like people are like usually used to seeing in like Christmas films and movies and TV shows and stuff. So yeah, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, overall, I mean, I don't really think that this is a really terrible movie, but yeah, it's just not something that I really could get into, just because yeah, characters are like the main characters really are not likable. Well, the main one in particular, Allie, she's the one that's really unlikable, because yeah, in this film it does show how she's like really kind of a troublemaker and really not applying herself in school and stuff. Like it does show that like in the opening of like as this film starts off, it shows that they have like a 5-page paper due the following day at school, which is the reason why she wants to cause like a snowstorm to get out of it and really just have more time to work on it. So yeah, and even like when like when they get this situation sorted out at the end of the film, that's never resolved. Like it's never really revealed like what actually does happen. As well as like there's this stuff going on with like Allie and Sam, and we're like really excited for like this boy's Christmas party that he's having, which ends up getting canceled due to the snowstorm as well. So yeah, yeah. So really, it's just like they're really trying to think of ways to really like cause a snowstorm to really like get out of things to benefit themselves rather than really help other people. Really. So yeah, it just really comes across as really selfish and really dumb, I think. So yeah, gosh, I really just don't know what else to say. And there's also like this subplot in this film where like there's this weatherman on the news that apparently like is like kind of like troubled by his boss, Haas, because he was unable to really track down like snow and report it on the news. And so then his boss is like threatening to fire him, but he really is trying to like track down the cause of the weather. And then he eventually ends up tracking down the weather machine, and he ends up like trying to steal it. But then like the girls, Santa and the elves, do like end up stopping him at the end. And then yeah, Santa ends up like telling him another job that he can get for the weather as well. So yeah. So quite honestly, I really don't know really what else to say about it. I mean, I guess the plot overall. I mean, it is like it is like I don't really want to say it's like good or anything, but I guess like it's not really done that horribly. I mean, I know like the reason for it being done really makes the main character look bad and stuff, but I mean, I really don't think that it is like really like that horrible of a film. It's just really not something that I really did get into, and it's really not something that I really think I'm going to be watching anytime soon. I mean, I may not ever really watch this film again. Just annoying characters and a bad main character, and yeah, yeah, and also like the mother in this film, I haven't really talked about her yet. Yeah, she's just like really wrapped up in her work in this film because, yeah, I guess like she's like some sort of party planner or something. Like her occupation is never actually revealed in this film, but yeah, for like really most of this film, she's really just like spending time on the phone and stuff and just really acting like real busy and stuff, like talking to people about parties and stuff. And yeah, so yeah, she just seems like real wrapped up in her work, and she's just really like it really just seems to really be like acting like a very irresponsible parent throughout this film too. So yeah, so I guess that's another drawback to the film as well. So it's just like such an annoying film, I think, because yeah, characters are annoying, especially the brother. Other the main characters, especially like Allie in particular, she's just unlikable, and yeah, the premise of this film, it's just like done really making like the main character really look bad, and yeah, and even like when she realizes like the effect it's gonna have on her father, that's when like she's really having regrets and stuff. Like her best friend, like Sam, she's really not that bad. Like she is like a person with good intentions, but yeah, just yeah, she's like tagging along with Allie, and it's just really making both of them really not really look very good. So yeah. So quite honestly, I really don't really know what else to really say about this one. I've pretty much really like gone over the premise of it, so I just honestly really don't know what to say. I mean, gosh, I mean, if you can put up with this kind of story, like if you can really like see through the fact that it really is like a movie and like this isn't really happening, then maybe you won't like feel like as harsh about it as I do. But me personally, I really just can't look over the fact of how unlikable the main character is and just how annoying the brother is, and just how just unlikable really everybody except Santa and the elves really are. So yeah, so if you're curious enough, I would probably say just like watch the stuff with Santa and the elves and just like see when they like do end up coming across the girls and working with them to trying to get the machine back, because everything else really is just like you're probably going to be annoyed watching it. So yeah, so really just watch Santa and the elves and just like have the fast forward button on standby if you are going to watch this film, because yeah, there's a lot of annoying stuff in this film and just unlikable main character. So I guess I would probably go around like the 2-star range for this film. So I would give it like 2 stars out of 4. All right. So yeah, really don't know what else to say about it. So I guess this is like all I can really say. So yeah. So not a very good TV Christmas film, and yeah, I have seen better, and I'm gonna get to a better one next. Like the next one I'm gonna talk about is another Disney Channel Christmas movie, but this one is a lot better. So yeah, stay tuned for that one coming up next, and yeah, it's gonna be a much better one. in this one. All right, so I guess this is all I really have to say about it. So this is my review of The Ultimate Christmas Present. So yeah, so I hope you guys did enjoy this review, and yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.